Thumpstar again. Today's information video is going to be on motors or engines. So if you're looking for troubleshooting information and you've got an engine problem, this is probably not the video for you. This is just an information video. We'll show you a few electrical tips and a few measurements, what CDIs go on what, and a bit of information on each video. But if you're looking for troubleshooting information, then yeah, best to keep searching YouTube. So first up, we're going to start off with the Lifan 88cc. Lifan motors are normally only good from, this is in our opinion though, but they're normally only good from about 50cc up to sort of 125s. I mean, we only use them on our smaller bikes. As soon as you sort of go 125 and up, they're just not quite as good, and you're better off with a YX or the Zongshen. But that is just our opinion. Everyone's had different experiences. So first of all, we'll give you the engine mount measurements. So all these engine mounts are the same. They're called the universal engine mount or the Series 50, Series 70 engine mount. So every single motor you see here will fit between each bike, which is quite cool and keeps it pretty simple. So eye to eye between the top and bottom mount is 152 millimeters. So the top mount is 93 millimeters, and the bottom mount is 82 millimeters. So that's your engine mount measurements. They can vary a tiny little bit between each bike, but generally they are all the same. The bolt that will go through and bolt it to your frame is an 8mm bolt, and yeah, that's the same right throughout. So next thing, we'll give you the length of this motor. So from the very top of the engine to the back engine mount is about 425 millimeters, and the width is about 28 centimeters. So yeah, all the measurements are pretty much the same right throughout all these motors. The only one that's a little bit different is the 155, which has a KLX-based head, and all the rest of these motors are CRF-based heads. So the next motor we're going to talk about is your YX125. This is the 4-speed motor. It's an all-up gearbox. It's also known as a GPX. 125, GPX and YX, normally the same engine. It's a neutral start. The way you can tell this is see how the engine mount is. I mean the clutch mounts at the front of the motor. And then if you look at this 125 race motor beside it, it's actually got the it actually has the clutch mount on the top of the motor there. So it's right there, and this means it's a start in any gear. So the difference is, this race motor here, you can pull the clutch in, say in second gear, kick it over, and it's going to go. But this neutral start motor, you're actually going to have to put it back into neutral, make sure the clutch is out, and then kick it over. So that is the difference. These motors are a little bit cheaper to buy, and that's just because they're more simple. Not a bad thing though, they're still really reliable little motors. Next motor we're going to move on to is our Zongshen 155. This is the 155 race motor, 155Z. They're also known as a 160. You also see the exact same motor stamped with 160 on them. So it just depends what batch you get. The one difference here is it has got a wider head because it's got a KLX-based head instead of the CRF-based, which is about 18 centimeters. And what we'll do is we'll quickly show you the Zongshen CDI and wiring. So this is these black CDIs are what go in all the Zongshen motors, all the 125s to 160s anyway. So it's got a Deutz plug in it. It's an 8-pin Deutz plug, and yeah, it just connects on like that. And then all you do is get your wiring. These plugs here will go together. And then see there's some excess wiring because there's other ones that are like the yellow ones and that are normally for lighting coils. And yeah, normally green goes to green. And then the red, and then normally the green with the red stripe will go to your red. But the cool thing is, the cool thing is about these is if you do get the wires mixed up, you're not actually going to damage anything. So you can play around with it until you get spark. So yeah, don't worry too much if you think you might have the wire and the wrong wires together, because it won't make any difference. Next up, we're going to move to our Daytona. This is our Japanese made motor. It's really expensive. It's about 2 to 3 times the price of the other engines, but it is Daytona is a really good brand and they make a real nice engine. The thing to note, the Daytona and the Zongshen 155 race motor and 125 race motor all have these removable oil filters on them. You can take them out and clean them. You don't have to buy a new one each time, but if it does start to get a bit rough, you can buy a new one from our website. But you just take them out and give them a bit of a clean and put them back in when you service your bike every 10 hours. And this is also an oil cooled, needs to be oil cooled. I mean, you can run it without the oil cooler, but it is recommended for this motor to have an oil cooler on it. And yeah, the same engine mounts, they all fit between each other. So the next motor we're going to move on to is our electric start. This is an electric start semi-automatic 110cc motor. So 4-speed, don't need a clutch, just kick it into gear and you're away. It's also, you press the button and it should start. How you can tell it's a semi-auto is usually they have these clutch adjustment nuts on the side of them, and also the electric start motor on the side. So if you see both of these things, normally it means semi-automatic and electric start. But you can also get the side covers where it will look like the manual engines, where you won't actually see the clutch adjustment nut. You actually have to pull the plate off to get in there. So just be aware of that. And then last of all, we're going to show you just the 140. This is a Zongshen 140. It's quite a common motor, and yeah, same engine mounts as the other ones. And yeah, runs that same black box CDI that we showed you before. And what we will show you with this motor is how you can actually identify your motor quite easily. Is if you look on the side here, you've got these, see these 2 numbers. The top number is your actual engine model number. So if you put that top number into Google, it will tell you exactly what motor it is. And the bottom number is a custom number that's different on every single motor. So this is if your bike gets stolen, you can give that number to the police and help identify your bike. And one more thing we will show you is just the wiring for a YX. For the YX motor, if you have a look here, normally they have the green plug CDIs, 5-pin, and you'll just plug it in like that. So it's the CDI in, and then obviously these 2 wires here will go to your coil. This is a wee cover that stops dust and everything getting to your coil, which is quite a good idea. And then these 3 wires here will just plug in. I'll just plug in here. Green normally goes to green, and then we normally put blue to blue, and then normally the this black red one will go to your red. And these other 2, like I say, they're just for lighting coils. But yeah, and the same goes with this engine. If you get the wires around the wrong way, don't worry too much about it, because you're not going to damage anything. Just play around with it until you get spark. And the one thing to note as well is when you buy a brand new motor, they always come with oil in it. So but always double check, make sure, sometimes the oil can leak out during shipping or whatever. But as you can see, this one here's a wee bit's come out the overflow. That's from us tipping it up before. So yeah, all the motors come with oil in them from you, but you need to check it. And the oil is actually only designed for the first hour of riding. After that, you need to change it, and then after that change, it's every 10 hours. We recommend sort of semi-synthetic 4-stroke oil to put in. I'll show you how a brand new motor will turn up. This is brand new, just been opened. So you'll get your motor. This is a YX125. You normally will get your gear lever, kickstart, manifold, and your gaskets. And And usually everything else is extra. If you're lucky, sometimes you might get a CDI or a wiring loom, but generally it's just the bare essentials. And you can buy the rest of the parts from our website, so just check that out if you do need the wiring looms and CDIs and carburetors. And yeah, that's pretty much it on engines. Hope that helped you out.